Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have the Aristocats. This is one of the later Disney classics from the early era. I don't know if it falls into the Golden Age. It's too early for the Renaissance, maybe a little too late for the Golden Age. I'm not sure. It's 1970. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. So yeah, it's got a bit of a star-studded cast here, even though the names may not be instantly familiar to many of you. They are Disney famous. First of all, O'Malley. I'm just going to go through the cast right now, just before we go through anything else. O'Malley, which is the alley cat. Alley. Anyway, he's done by Phil Harris. He's voiced by Phil Harris, as you would also know as Baloo from The Jungle Book. The Bare Necessities. The moment you hear his voice, you're like, Baloo is a cat. So yeah, so you got right off the bat, you got Phil Harris. By the way, you know what Phil Harris sounds like. You know what the Bare Necessities, Baloo, and Tom O'Malley. I got to show you, if that was ever a voice ever matched a face, that's it. Yeah, that's Phil Harris. But one of the main character in this is a cat named Duchess. She is the mother of 3 little kittens, and she's played by Eva Gabor, one of the Gabor sisters. Also iconic. And the kids are played by, I can't really think of, they're really just little kids. You know, I don't know if they ever went on to anything big. I might be wrong. But we also have Scatman Crothers playing Scat Cat, appropriately named. Sterling Holloway plays Roquefort the mouse. Where have we heard Sterling Holloway's voice before? Oh, Winnie the Pooh. So yeah, it's there's just a bunch of different voices here. Let me see if I can find any others. Paul Winchell is a Chinese cat. That was a little bit outdated. Yeah, but they have a multicultural swing group cat band in the movie. There's a Russian, there's a Chinese, there's an Italian cat, and they all are drawn and act as the cultural stereotypes of the day. So yeah, that part doesn't necessarily age well, but it's a cartoon, so oh well. Anyway, the story, I don't think I ever really watched this movie before. I've seen parts of it. I knew what it was about, basically. It was about cats. I think it was a pretty easy guess. But basically, a Duchess and her 3 kittens live in luxury in the home of a woman who, it's Paris, 1910. It looks like they live right down the street from the family in the Banks family in Mary Poppins. The house, I don't know, that she lives in looks really similar. I could be wrong. It could be a coincidence. I don't know. But anyway, and even though the Mary Poppins family, the Banks family didn't live in Paris, but still, it's that era. Anyway, so she dotes on these kittens, and she invites her lawyer over to write out her will. And she has only one servant, who is her butler, who pretty much drives the carriage everywhere, does her laundry, does everything for her. She lives in complete luxury with these kittens. These kittens know no adversity whatsoever. It's also strange that they are taught to both sing and play musical instruments and do art, like painting. Like, nobody finds it really strange. I mean, I realize this is a cartoon. They're meant to represent children, not human children, not necessarily kittens, but still, it's kind of weird that somebody would leave paint out for kittens, you know, and let them play piano and, like, hear them play piano. So, when the butler finds out that, what's his name now? Come on, why doesn't his name even show up in the list when I was looking? When he finds out that she's going to leave all of her fortune to the cats, and he would only get something after they're gone, well, he decides to split them Mickey, put them to sleep, not permanently, which seemed like it would have, served its purposes, but this Disney, we're not going to kill cats right out. So he makes him fall asleep, puts him in a basket, and drives him out into the country, where he's waylaid by two very excitable dogs, which are one of my favorite parts of the movie. Some of the favorite characters. I gotta find their names here because you'll recognize some of them, maybe, if you're old enough. Lafayette and Napoleon. Lafayette's played by George Lindsay, which you would know from the Andy Griffith Show, Goober, I think. And Paul Buttram, he's been in a ton of other stuff. These are classic actors that I'm not sure why they sound like good old boys from American South, like country boys in the middle of Paris 1910, but who am I to judge? This is made in 1970, so there's like also a hippie cat. Like there's so many glowy colors during the Everybody Wants to Be a Cat song, so it looked very hippie-ish at one point. So set in 1910, it feels a little bit like the late 60s, the Summer of Love. But, yeah, again, it's a cartoon, not supposed to make too much sense. All that matters is that we care about the characters and the things that you're going through. Well, the cats get ditched in the wilderness, and they run across Thomas O'Malley. As we said, it's, what's his name, Paul, why can I say his name? Phil Harris. My memory sucks today. Phil Harris. So they run across him, and he helps them try to get back to Paris. And along the way, they have a few little adventures, and they run across Thomas O'Malley's buddies, who are swinging hep cats, and they bring down the house in the biggest musical number in the entire thing. This is mostly not a musical type of movie. I mean, there are music numbers. There's a few here and there. But the main one is this Everybody Wants to Be a Cat thing, which is reprised at the end. And there's a good reason, because it just absolutely rocks. So it's, yeah. If nothing else for this movie, it's that big musical sequence, despite the cringy, somewhat racist moments, especially with the Chinese cat. Fortune cookie always wrong, and there's chopsticks when he's playing piano. Yeah, sorry. That's the only unfortunate thing I think about this film. The rest, it's entertaining, it's fun, and the kittens are adorable, and one of them keeps falling off of things and almost getting herself killed. It's a thing with her, apparently. But hey, gotta have action and adventure. So here we are. We're gonna pick. Why is it checking my browser? It reset itself because it knew I wanted to get this thing done quickly. 7, 6, 8. That's how many we have, but not anymore. All right, let's pick tomorrow's Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. 411. I think we've had this one already. This one's going to take a while to load too, probably. 411. But yeah, I think we've had this one. Come on. But I gotta prove it. That's what matters. You gotta prove it. So you can't just say making things up. Yep. Here we are. It's in the O's or P's here. 411 was Partysaurus Rex. Yep. What is underneath that? No, 411 is Party Central. Party Central. Yeah. All right, let's pick another one. Seven, 4, 6. This feels familiar too. 7, 4, 6. Nope, we didn't. This looks like it's a documentary, live reality series or something along those lines. I don't know if it's a single movie or an entire series, but we will find out when we watch Wild Yellowstone. Probably get a good look at one of our nation's national parks. Maybe a last look, who knows. But yeah, Wild Yellowstone. Let's take a look at that on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.